Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. And today we have a bunch of gaming topics to discuss. Now, we're going to discuss the Xbox Series X. It actually got a price cut. We've also seen a host of games that are coming to Game Pass, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm really excited for these games. Now, we also have some PlayStation 5 Pro information on PSSR and some of the things that are happening behind the scenes. We have some great performance from some of the games. So we got a bunch of stuff to discuss. First, let's just start off with the Xbox topics. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, I wanted to do this video yesterday on these topics, but lately my relationship with some Xbox fans hasn't been the greatest. Now, as you guys all know, I'm not really supporting the Xbox console anymore. I'm moving over to PC. Now, I've been on PC this whole time. I'm primarily a PC gamer. However, I did enjoy the Xbox ecosystem because it allowed me to play my games on the Xbox Series X as well as the PC. Now, the Xbox Series X console is no longer the most powerful console that is out. The PlayStation 5 Pro is going to outperform that. Now, most of my games I am playing on PC anyways. And like I said, Xbox doesn't care where you play your games. They don't care if you play your games on a Fire Stick. They don't care if you play your games on a Samsung TV, a Series S, a Series X, a PC. So I'm choosing to play my games on PC. All of my Xbox games on PC, where they will look and run the best. I have an RTX 4090, my PC is spec'd out, so it just made sense to make the complete switch over. Now, next generation, when they come out with a console, and we will get into that a little bit later on, now that will be a decision that I'll make at that time, but for the foreseeable future, we're just gonna be on PC, and for me, Xbox is PC. Now, with that said, some people think I can't talk about Xbox anymore, and I don't like Xbox, or I'm against all of the Xbox games. I still believe that Game Pass is the best value in gaming. I'm going to play my Xbox games on PC, and nobody's going to tell me on my own channel what I can talk about. I'm going to discuss the things that matter to me and that I think matter to the gamers that come to watch my content. And I think that Indiana Jones should be getting more coverage. Now, I posted this on X and I said, not gonna lie, I waited 24 hours to see Xbox only content creators would post Indiana Jones. All I saw were Death Stranding posts, 5-year-old game that was free on PC several times, talk Indiana Jones, talk Stalker 2 being available for downloads, talk Spiral Stealth launching. And, I didn't really see a lot of videos on it. I'm not saying nobody made videos on it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is good news for Xbox fans. All of these games are going to Game Pass. They're going to Game Pass PC. So you're going to get the Spiral trilogy inside of Game Pass. That is fantastic news. A lot of people have been waiting for Spiral to come to Game Pass ever since Microsoft acquired Activision. Stalker 2 is available for download. Stalker 2, the download size for Xbox is just crazy. And today they actually announced the specifications that you'll need in order to run this game at a high frame rate on PC. Now, as I go through the post here, we can see Tom Warren posted that NVIDIA had provided benchmarks for Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl for the RTX 4070, through to the RTX 4090 at 4K with max settings. The RTX 4090 jumps to 52.4 FPS to 123 FPS with DLSS 3 enabled. Now, when we're looking at the chart here, 52 FPS without DLSS frame gen on. So that's like the regular DLSS. And I believe it says at the bottom here, I believe it's in the performance mode. So it's not the best quality. It's still very good quality, but it's not the same as the quality mode that you get in DLSS. And you're getting 52 frames per second on a 4090. That is crazy. Now, the uplift from frame gen is excellent. Frame gen, when it's used anywhere over 60, I say even 50. 50 is fine if you use frame gen. It's when you're using it at like 30, 35, 40, that's when it's kind of really adds to the latency. But over 60 FPS, it's fine. And I've seen a lot of games that have implemented it over time, and it's just getting really good where you don't really perceive the lag. Now, in a game like Stalker 2, where it's not like a competitive online multiplayer game, you don't really need it to be like to the millisecond, right? It can have a little bit of lag that you normally get with a joystick. So it's fine. Anyhow, the 4080 Super gets 47 FPS, the 4070 Ti gets 40 FPS, 4070 Super gets 34 FPS, the 4070 gets 31 FPS with frame gen 73.6 FPS. Now, when I'm looking at the frame gen, it's going to be on the RTX 4070. I gotta test that for myself because I just don't see that playing really good. I don't see it being responsive unless they're doing some new magic with DLSS 3. I guess we're going to find out if they improve frame gen and how it performs in this game. It's going to be a good metric for it, definitely. Now, this also leads me to how is this going to run on the Xbox Series X? Now, the Xbox Series X is significantly weaker than all of these cards that are in there. So the optimization for that console is going to be something to see. And I do believe it's going to look and run good on the Xbox Series X because we have seen footage already of it running on the Series X. And it looks fantastic. I think they promised a 60 FPS mode for that game on the Series X. So clearly they're using frame gen, but how responsive is it? How is the image quality? Because they're using FSR. FSR is just not as good as DLSS 3 because it's not the same type of technology. It's not using machine learning AI. It's just not as good. It doesn't do motion as well. It doesn't do little small items as well. It breaks up more than DLSS, and you get some fizzle in some of the smaller fine details. So it's kind of been stated across the board from anyone that is reputable in the industry that FSR is inferior to DLSS. So I'm really interested to see the performance on the consoles. And this is another reason why it's great that I can enjoy my Xbox games on PC. I have the hardware that will support the highest performance that you can get out of this game currently. Now, next year, of course, we're going to get new hardware, but for the time being, 4090 is the king. So I'm very interested to see the performance on this. I'm really interested in playing this game. The developers, they put a lot of hard work into this. And when I say blood, sweat, and tears, I really literally mean it because these guys were going through a war. So I hope Xbox gamers and just gamers in general go out there and support this game. I will be playing it day one. I'll have it on the channel. I'll have the metrics up. I'll probably do a live stream with it. So you guys will get some more information on that. Now, another thing I want to talk about is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, Microsoft, or I should say Bethesda Studios and Machine Games, they actually released a trailer, actually a deep dive on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So they went into the gameplay mechanics, what we can expect from the game. And overall, I was really impressed with it. That's why I was kind of surprised that I didn't see a lot of people talking about it. And then when I kind of looked, a lot of gamers, they kind of had a nonchalant reaction to the game. They were like, meh, it's okay. Like, it's nothing that was impressive. And overall, I thought it looked really good. My only true gripe is that it's a first-person game. I think that is a missed opportunity. Uncharted, Tomb Raider, everybody knows that those games are Indiana Jones wannabe games, if I'm just being completely honest. I'm not saying those games are not fantastic. Of course, Tomb Raider is a fantastic game. Same with the Uncharted series. But at the core, they're really emulating Indiana Jones and that type of adventure and, action puzzle solving kind of atmosphere. That's what they were trying to emulate. So you finally have the opportunity to make an Indiana Jones game that everybody would love to be in third person, and you end up making it first person. I can understand some people's disappointment in this, for sure. But from what I saw, it looked fantastic. The tone and the atmosphere, it captured Indiana Jones perfectly. I think the graphics looked fantastic. I think the combat looked pretty good. Even the facial animation and the skin textures, the lighting, it was just a very clean, good looking game. And I think some people are just overlooking because it's a first person game and not really as invested into the game. And that's kind of sad. And that also kind of lets you know that perhaps they really should have made this game a third person. Nonetheless, I think it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be in Game Pass day one, and I'm excited about it. So I don't know what more to say. It looked pretty impressive to me. You guys let me know what you think. I'm going to be playing this day one. I think it's going to be a good looking game. I think the puzzles are going to be great. I think the atmosphere, I think the dialogue, the graphics, the gameplay looks good. I don't really have any complaints outside of it being a first person game. Now, this was one of the games that we expected to stay on Xbox, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it kind of annoyed me that this game is also coming to the PlayStation, because you would expect Microsoft to keep these games exclusives. Whatever games they could keep exclusive on the platform, you would expect them to do that, because Sony, that's what they do. They try to keep as many games off of Xbox as possible. Microsoft has gone on the record and stated this in court. Yet you're putting your games on their platform. this kind of annoyed me. And I'm honestly telling you guys that if Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was not coming to the PlayStation 5, it would move more Xbox consoles and it would move more of the software for them in the here and now. Even if they were going to release it for the PlayStation 5, I think they should have waited till after the launch on Xbox to kind of break it down to fans. It's just disappointing that it is coming to other platforms. I'm just keeping it 100 with you guys. Anyways, let's move on from this. You guys just let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Now, here is another game, and I'm sure that gamers are actually going to talk about this game because it just looked fantastic. It just couldn't be denied what you were seeing here. Now, this, of course, is South of Midnight. The animations, the way that it looks, I've never seen a game that looks like this. It looks like I'm watching some type of movie, but it's actually a game. Still motion animation that they're using in this game, I don't know, it's just the art decision that they chose. It's just really speaks to me. Like, it just looks really, really detailed, and you could tell they put a lot of work into it. The voice acting looks fantastic. I'm just really excited about this game now. I can't do it any justice speaking about it, so they did release a deep dive talking about the game today, and it's a pretty long watch. It's about 30 minutes, so I'm going to leave it in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. We're just going to kind of cut it up here a little bit. Maybe I'll try to condense it to like 5 minutes or so, and that should give us a good grasp on what to expect with this game. Like I said, it will be linked in the comment section down below so you guys can watch it in its entirety. This video, we just have to make it short. It is what it is. Let's just get into this and I'll come back and give you guys my thoughts.
In many ways, Midnight is about bringing people together, and magic is all around you. It's about learning empathy for people who aren't like you. It's finding hidden strengths.
It's so beautifully powerful, and I think that it just sort of leaps off the screen.
There's so much atmospheric potential. The landscapes, they're almost like a character in and of itself.
We made these concept songs for all of the creatures. It's not often you get that creative license.
Her journey paralleled with my journey, and like many of our journeys. Did Mama know about this? She discovers the world is more than what she has known it to be.
Coming up against all of these monsters and large creatures where she can communicate with them, heal them, learn from them. Watching Hazel just fly through the world doing all of these things is just a lot of fun.
Ready pace. You know, she has sassiness, she has a modernness to her, but she's also respectful of her elders. She's also very empathetic. She's very driven, competitive. And I remember just feeling so connected. Her journey paralleled with my journey, and like many of our journeys.
This story centers around a young Black girl, so I couldn't help but be just in love with that idea. And I think Hazel, in the writing and the way that she's designed, it's so beautifully powerful, and I think that it just sort of leaps off the screen. And the way that she speaks and carries herself, the way that she allows herself to be vulnerable and scared and confused and unprepared, I think is something I'm really excited that we get to follow in this story and her story.
Shaking bones.
The handcrafted style is applied into everything. There's something soulful about that, and I think it resonates with a lot of people, and it felt really appropriate for this deep south, a Southern Gothic dark fantasy to have this sort of organic, natural touch to the style.
Boo, what?
Yeah, I saw you jumping.
We had to figure out a style where things are exaggerated, there's little thumbprints and imperfections, and everything kind of has this sort of twisted feeling to it. So we went and visited this stop-motion studio in Montreal called Clyde Henry, and they have a really special style that has this sort of dark, twisted eeriness that was something we wanted for South of Midnight, and we actually looked at their maquettes and looked at how they were made, and then the artists went back and we had to create techniques to reverse engineer how things are actually made by hand. Yeah, everything from the foliage to the props to the buildings to the characters, they all have a handcrafted look to them.
Maybe I could help bottle up the pain.
That's why I'm the last person left here.
So the animation style is just stop motion. So a lot of the narrative of the game is that you have Hazel, who is, while searching for her mother, coming across a number of people in the world who have gone through things. They have experiences. Everyone's got something that's made them a little rough. And while she has the power to weave and heal these sort of things, there becomes a sort of understanding of people's imperfections, those experiences that they've had, sort of define who they are as a character. It's nighttime, you can leave, but they're starting to go banging on door to door to each house. And so the stop motion treatment gives us the opportunity to bring in those little moments of friction, of imperfection, individuality. You feel it in the animation, you feel it in the motion, you feel it in performances, and that matches what you feel in the narrative and the relationships you have with characters. One take. Yeah.
I mean, when I think about how many games are set in the South with a strong Black female lead, I don't recall that many. That in itself shows how important this is.
You don't have to also be like a Black woman to understand and relate to Hazel.
She's battle ready, but then she's also, opening up to her inner child. And then it gets really dangerous at other times. She's kind of doing a little bit of it all. I think it shows how expansive this world is.
Whether these people are humans or they're a giant necrotic alligator, all of these creatures are worth helping, and helping in the way they want. I think that it's important to show the folklore, the magic, and the creatures in the South and share them with the whole world.
Now, if you're not absolutely blown away with that, you're just a hater. I just gotta be honest. Now, I'm going to always say a good game is a good game, and this looks like it's going to be a fantastic game. And once again, although I'm not supporting the Xbox console, I can play this on my PC day and date with my Game Pass subscription. If I choose to play it on the console, I can do that as well. I can play it on my mobile device. I can play it anywhere that cloud gaming is enabled for Xbox. So this is adding more value to the Xbox Game Pass service. And I think it's undeniable at this stage to say that there's anything better in gaming that gives you value like Game Pass. I don't think there is anything else. It is definitely the best value in gaming. And games are only going to get better in this service because Microsoft acquired all of these studios. And that's why I'm kind of also annoyed that they're bringing some of these games to other platforms, because they have a real opportunity here to grab a section of the market. If they had their games exclusive on the Xbox console and exclusive on PC, it would be a win-win for them. Now, I'll be honest, they would make more money putting their games on PlayStation because the base is just a lot higher. They have like 65 million consoles sold over there. So that's a lot of gamers to have access to your game. But at the same time, it comes at the cost of your Xbox console. So this generation, the console war is over. But build it up. Build it steady. Build the reputation that these games are only available on this console. When the next generation console comes out, then people will know that, hey, if I want to play the latest and best Xbox games, I have to get this console because that's the only place to play them. But when you're putting your games on PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 6 is coming out, people will be like, well, I don't need to get an Xbox because I can get a PlayStation 6 and play these Xbox games on there. And that's where I just disagree with their strategy with their games on the consoles. I think you need to have some exclusives on there. Now, I've been sitting on this information about the next generation consoles for quite some time. A lot of people have been messaging me like, when am I going to talk about it? And I see some other content creators out there putting some videos out. So I'm just going to discuss what I actually know about the next generation consoles. Now, the next generation console that's going to come out first is going to be a handheld. Yes, there is a handheld. It is 100% real. Now, I can't share all of the specs because I don't know all of the specs. I only know certain details of what I've been told and what I've heard from different people. Now, what I've been told is that it's going to be a fantastic handheld, that it is going to have some machine learning capabilities, that it's also going to be as powerful or very close to a rogue ally. I was hoping that it would be more powerful than a rogue ally, but I was told in the way it was broken down to me, it would make sense if it's around the rogue ally power. But to be honest with you guys, it wouldn't matter at that point because the machine learning would be doing the heavy lifting. So this is really good news, and I'm hearing it's coming out soon enough. So if I had to guess, this is not what I was told. I wasn't told when it's going to come out. I was just told the information and what to expect from it. Now, I think that Microsoft could perhaps announce this at the Game Awards. It would make perfect sense to announce it then and release it in early 2025. I don't know the exact date when it's coming out, but I know it's anywhere from early 2025 to mid 2025. However, it is a real thing. Xbox does have a handheld coming out. It is going to be pretty good in performance around a rogue ally, but it will have machine learning on it. And I'm talking like the good type of machine learning. So we're just going to have to wait and see as we get closer to the time of its announcement. And then, of course, subsequently, we're going to get a lot more information on that console. Now, the next generation console that everybody wants to hear about is the next Xbox console. Now, I've said it publicly that, it's going to be a rough 2 years for Xbox fans, with the PlayStation 5 Pro being out and games looking and running better on that console, and all the companies, and myself included, doing comparisons, and you're seeing the performance delta between the consoles. However, in 2026, Microsoft is scheduled to release a next generation console. Now, I heard that it can get pushed into 2027, but most likely it's going to be 2026. Now, it's going to have more performance, obviously, than the Xbox Series X. I also been told some numbers. Now, take this with a grain of salt because I don't know if this is speculation or if these are hard numbers, but supposedly the raster performance is going to be 25% greater than Sony's PlayStation 5 Pro. That's going to be the jump there. But the machine learning, however, is going to be far more capable. And of course, the CPU is going to be much better. I'm talking 25% raster performance from the GPU. But when you add in machine learning and you add in better ray tracing and a better CPU, it actually equates to better performance than the on-paper specs of 25% better raster over the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, some of this did leak out in the trial. I did discuss this in previous videos, but we're just going to go through some of the specs here. So let me just pull it up here on my screen. Here you can see cohesive hybrid compute. Develop a next-generation hybrid gaming platform capable of leveraging and combining the power of direct and cloud to deliver deeper immersion, entirely new classes of game experience, optimized for real-time gameplay and creators. We will enable new levels of performance beyond the capabilities of the client hardware alone. Now, this means that they're going to take cloud compute as well as the GPU raw power that you have in the console itself and give you a combined compute. So basically, this is going to be doing it in real time. And if this is how they're saying it will be, the performance is going to be extraordinary because they can use much more powerful hardware in the cloud, combine it with the GPU that you have there. That would be cost savings, getting you the hardware cheaper and delivering you more performance that is beyond the capabilities of the physical hardware that you have. So that is extraordinary in itself alone. Key strategic decisions and investments, ARM64 versus x64 Zen 6. CPU balance of big little CPU cores. GPU co-design with AMD or license AMD IP Navi 5. Now, let's just stop it right there. Now, it's not going to be ARM because this was before Microsoft got their deal done with AMD. So we know that it's going to be a Zen CPU. It's going to be a very good Zen CPU. It's not going to be the anemic ones that are in this generation's console. So we know that's going to happen. So the balance of big and little CPU cores, that's off the table because they're not going to be doing business with Intel. Now, the GPU co-designed with AMD, license AMD IP Navi 5. Now, this, from what I'm hearing, is that CDNA and RDNA, they're going to combine and put an MPU inside of the next generation Xbox console. Now, an MPU is a neural processing unit. So this will be offloaded from the GPU. So this is not a part of the GPU. This is doing all of the calculations that traditionally are done on a GPU for a neural network. So it's a little bit more efficient, and sometimes it can be even more performant than it actually being on the GPU. And once again, that frees up the GPU to do some other programming stuff. I just know that the NPU design would give it a lot of performance with machine learning. Now, they go on to say that high performance silicon for targeted workloads, forward compatibility, they're going to be using next gen DirectX ray tracing, dynamic global illumination, machine-based super resolution, which I just spoke about, extensibility model for faster iteration and innovation. So this is pretty much true. Now, plans change and some of these things have changed, like I just discussed with the CPU. You know, they're not going to be going with Intel, and it looks like it's going to be using Navi 5. So this is really, really exciting news. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, in 2026, I think obviously that Xbox, their next generation console, is going to be the most powerful console. It's going to be extremely powerful. They are going to be focusing on machine learning. So all of the things that we're getting on the PlayStation 5 Pro now, on the next generation Xbox, you can increase it, I don't know, by like 3-4 folds. It's going to be a lot more performance. Like maybe I'm exaggerating because I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know it's going to be substantially better than what the PlayStation 5 Pro is offering, because that will be a true next generation system. So my advice to Xbox fans is like, chill out on the power narrative, because the console war for this generation is over. However, the next generation of consoles coming from Sony and Microsoft, both of them are going to be a generational leap over the consoles that we have right now. And I think Sony is on the right path with the PlayStation 5 Pro, with PSSR, and I think that's going to bode well for the PlayStation 6. Now, if Microsoft comes out in 2026, the PlayStation 6, I'm hearing, is coming out in 2027 or 2028. Whatever year the Xbox Series, or I should say the Xbox next console comes out, PlayStation 6, from what I heard, is coming out a year after. So they're going to have some time to make a few alterations, and I think they're just trying to ensure that they have the latest hardware from AMD, because if you come out later, obviously you're going to have more hardware, or I should say the latest hardware from AMD. However, we're like 2 years off from that, so it kind of is what it is. And I'm being honest with you guys, if you care about performance, if you want to play the best looking Xbox games, and if you want to play the best looking multiplayer games with no compromise, then definitely go to PC. But if you're gonna go to PC, you don't go to PC with a half-spec rig. You go big or you go home. So you don't go and get like a 6700 PC build, because that's barely gonna beat the console. You know, you don't get a 4060 build, because that's not even gonna beat a PlayStation 5 Pro. You get like a 4070 Ti. You get like a 4070 with a fantastic 3D cache CPU. You get a 4080, a 4080 Super, a 4090. Now this will give you substantial performance uptake over the consoles, and will also future-proof you for the future generations. So that's just my opinion on it. If you go PC, you go big or you go home. And once again, these Xbox games, they will be available on PC day and date. Now, lots of game testing is happening for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, I will have a lot of tests up on the channel later on this week. I'm still going through a host of games. However, there are other content creators out there that are producing material. Now, I will leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. Now, they were testing Dragon's Dogma 2. It was hitting into the high 60s and 70s on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, the base consoles in the same mode are hitting 37 FPS and lower. So right here, we're seeing that the PlayStation 5 Pro is pushing above its weight. I really think it's a good console. Now, I just showed you guys the requirements for Stalker 2 on PC, and it's heavily relying on machine learning AI and frame gen. You even have a 4090 that is not reaching 60 FPS at 4K in that game. So please tell me again why machine learning AI is not great on a console. Why this is not a huge benefit for the PlayStation 5 Pro, because it is. This is one of the reasons why I am so excited for this console, because I can get a PC-like experience on the console without having to wait for those games to hit PC. Now, if the games were coming to PC day and date, perhaps we'd be having a different discussion, but that is not the case. And if I want to play Sony's games or exclusive games that are on that platform the best, the PlayStation 5 Pro is the place to play them. Now, we're also going to look at a report over here from gamingbolt.com. And once again, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Now, Coyote co-founder Avalka Karlowski also believes the upscaler will play a significant role in potential PlayStation 6 platforms. So they go on to talk about the PlayStation 5, how their development with PSSR and the PlayStation 5 Pro will trickle over to the PlayStation 6. It will definitely give them an advantage. I'll tell you one way it gives them an advantage. Now, the way that machine learning AI works is that it learns in real time. So it learns on a neural network. It becomes better over time. Now, you switch out those models and you put in the new model to the developers and they use it in their engines. Now, once again, it's in the neural network, it's learning stuff, and you rinse and repeat. You swap out the model, you update it to the better version. So it learns over time, it gets better. The same thing happened with DLSS, the same thing happened with XESS. That's just the way the technology works. Now, having this machine learning and these models from the PlayStation 5 Pro, it's definitely going to apply to the PlayStation 6. And it's going to give them an advantage over Xbox at that time because they're not going to have any models. That is kind of obvious. Now, he goes on to say that in the short time it's available, the PlayStation 5 Pro has done relatively well, at least compared to the initial reactions from its reveal. Despite the $700 price point, the reception to its performance and how it improves on various PlayStation 5 titles is positive. While there's been plenty of focus on bigger releases, how the console is leveraged for ports like Koyode's upcoming project, it's intriguing. Now, Koyode is responsible for porting Among Giants backpacking RPG Albatross to the consoles. Though it didn't use PSSR for the same, it's leveraging the technology. It's a new project. Speaking to Gaming Bolt, the co-founder and CEO said that for Albatross, we choose not to use PSSR due to time constraints. However, in another upcoming project for the PlayStation 5 Pro update planned, we're using PSSR along with ray trace global illumination, reflections, and ambient occlusion, all while targeting 60 FPS in one of the quality modes. PSSR's superior upscaling surpasses FSR and TSR at lower resolutions, enabling us to add in modern techniques and reflections, lighting, and shadow. The PlayStation 5 Pro allows for other visual enhancements. The developer also compared the performance to PSSR to NVIDIA DLSS 3. The project is also included in virtual shadow maps for significantly improved shadow quality, which isn't available on the base PlayStation 5. In terms of quality, PSSR is closer to DLSS 3 than FSR 2. For example, foliage movement and color shifting are much improved when using PSSR. As if we're talking about AI-based upscaler, its capabilities will continue to evolve and I believe play a significant role in the potential PlayStation 6 platform. So there you have it. This is a developer telling you what I've been saying all along. And they are all impressed. And it's only going to get better in time. 5 months from now, PSSR is going to be substantially better than what it is today. A year from now, it's going to be better than what it was 6 months from now, and so on and so forth. It's only going to get better in time, and this is going to trickle over and bode well for the PlayStation 6. So I do believe that Microsoft's next generation console is going to be very, very powerful. It's going to have fantastic machine learning, but the PlayStation 6 is also going to have a lot of data and a lot of experience from doing machine learning AI from the PlayStation 5 Pro. Anyways, I wonder what you guys think about all of this. Personally, I really love tech. I'm excited about the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I'm going to continue to be excited about it because it is bringing new technology to consoles, and I do believe that console gamers are going to get a very good gaming experience. No longer do they have to really suffer with 30 FPS. Now, the 30 FPS modes that are available on the PlayStation 5 Pro, that's if you want like all the bells and whistles, like super high ray tracing that's available on the PC. And even some of those games with the high ray tracing, you are getting 60 FPS. But the games that you get 30 FPS, you still have a 60 FPS option. They're giving you a host of options on the PlayStation 5 Pro. You can turn TAA on. You can use PSSR. You can use none of it. You can use ray tracing at medium, high. You're getting PC-like settings on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I think giving gamers the option to play games how they want is fantastic, and I don't believe there should be any reason why you have to play a game at 30 FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro, much less the next generation consoles. On the next generation consoles, I hope they target 120 FPS at that point. I think 120 FPS in 2026 should be achievable for a lot of next generation games on those consoles. I also want to know what you think about Xbox's next console. What do you think about the handheld that is coming out? What do you think about their next generation console and the possibility of it having a MPU in it and just being a beast for machine learning. Also, let me know what you think about Indiana Jones, Flight Sim, all the other games that are coming to Game Pass. And of course, South of Midnight, that game looked fantastic. It is a day one buy for me. So before I let you guys go, I'm just going to let you know I will always discuss Xbox games, especially the games that I'm going to play and that I'm going to be interested in. If some important Xbox news comes on my desk, I'm going to discuss it. If I have some information on the hardware on Xbox, I'm also going to discuss it. Just because I'm enjoying the PlayStation 5 Pro and I'm really enjoying that platform right now does not mean I don't like Xbox or I'm not going to play any Xbox games. I'm just not going to be playing any Xbox games in the foreseeable future on the Xbox console. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.